If you want to change your financial life, you need to change how you think every day. Most people work hard, but still stay stuck because their mindset keeps repeating the same results. This audiobook breaks down the exact thinking patterns that build income over time and the daily actions that separate growth from struggle. You will learn how habits shape opportunities, how beliefs limit earnings, how discipline multiplies results, and how focus turns time into real value. You will also learn how skills, confidence, decisions, and relationships directly affect your financial future in practical ways you can apply immediately. Stay with this full audiobook, because each chapter builds step by step toward real change in your actions and results. If you are serious about improving your life and income, subscribe now so you do not miss what comes next. Chapter 1. Develop daily habits that attract profitable opportunities consistently. Most people spend years searching for a secret that will make them financially successful. They look for the perfect business idea, the perfect investment, the perfect strategy, or the perfect opportunity, yet many of them overlook something much more important. Long-term financial success is often built on ordinary habits repeated consistently over time. The mindset that prints money is not about luck. It is not about being born into the right family. It is not about knowing someone powerful. It begins with the way you think every day and the actions that follow those thoughts. Many people believe opportunities appear randomly. They assume successful individuals simply happen to be in the right place at the right time. While timing can play a role, the truth is that opportunities often become visible to people who have prepared themselves to recognize and use them. Think about two individuals who wake up on the same morning. One starts the day without a plan. He checks his phone immediately. He spends hours consuming information, reacting to messages, and drifting through tasks without purpose. By evening, he feels busy but has accomplished very little. The second person begins the day differently. Before distractions enter his mind, he reviews his goals. He identifies the most important actions for the day. He spends time learning, improving, and completing meaningful work. By evening, he has moved closer to his objectives. After one day, the difference may seem small. After 1 year, the difference becomes significant. After 5 years, their lives may look completely different. Money follows value. Value follows skill. Skill follows consistent effort. Consistent effort follows habit. This is why daily habits matter so much. One of the most profitable habits you can develop is intentional thinking. Many people allow circumstances to control their thoughts. A small setback ruins their mood. A negative comment destroys their confidence. A temporary problem convinces them to stop trying. People with a wealth-building mindset train themselves to think differently. They ask productive questions. Instead of asking why something is difficult, they ask how it can be solved. Instead of focusing on obstacles, they focus on possibilities. Instead of dwelling on failures, they study lessons. This habit alone can change the direction of an entire life. Consider someone who loses a job. One person sees only disaster. He spends months complaining and blaming external factors. Another person views the same situation as an opportunity to learn new skills, start a side business, or explore a better career path. The event is similar. The mindset is different. The outcome becomes different as well. Another powerful habit is protecting the first hour of your day. The beginning of each morning often determines the quality of the hours that follow. If you start the day with confusion, distraction, and noise, your focus weakens. If you start the day with clarity and purpose, your productivity increases. Successful people often use their mornings to think, plan, read, exercise, or work on important projects before the world demands their attention. This does not require waking up at an extreme hour. The exact time matters less than the quality of what you do after waking up. Even 30 focused minutes every morning can produce remarkable results over time. Learning every day is another habit that attracts profitable opportunities. The world changes constantly. Industries evolve, technology advances, customer needs shift. People who stop learning eventually fall behind. Many individuals finish formal education and assume their learning journey is complete. Years later, they wonder why their income has stagnated. Meanwhile, others continue learning long after school ends. They read books, they study successful people, they learn communication skills, they improve their understanding of business, leadership, sales, technology, and personal development. Every new skill increases their ability to create value. When you become more valuable, opportunities begin to notice you. A business owner may offer you a position. A client may seek your expertise. A partner may invite you into a project. An investor may trust your judgment. These opportunities often appear because of knowledge accumulated gradually over many years. Another habit that attracts financial success is keeping promises to yourself. Many people make commitments during moments of motivation. They promise to exercise, they promise to study, they promise to start a business, they promise to save money. Then they break those promises repeatedly. Every broken promise weakens self-trust. When self-trust disappears, confidence declines. The wealth-building mindset understands that confidence is not created by positive thinking alone. Confidence grows when your actions prove that your word matters. If you decide to spend 30 minutes learning a new skill, do it. If you decide to save a portion of your income, follow through. If you commit to finishing a project, complete it. Each fulfilled commitment strengthens your belief in yourself. That belief becomes a foundation for bigger achievements. Another important habit is paying attention to problems. Most people avoid problems whenever possible. Yet many profitable opportunities exist because problems exist. Businesses are created to solve problems. Services are purchased to solve problems. Products are developed to solve problems. When you train yourself to notice frustrations, inefficiencies, and unmet needs, you begin seeing possibilities that others miss. Pay attention when people complain. Observe what takes too much time. Notice where confusion exists. Ask yourself what could make the situation easier, faster, safer, cheaper, or more effective. The answers may lead to ideas that generate income. Some of the most successful businesses in the world began because someone noticed a common problem and decided to create a solution. Networking is another habit often misunderstood. Many people think networking means collecting contacts or attending events. Real networking is much simpler. It means building genuine relationships. People prefer working with individuals they trust. Opportunities frequently travel through relationships. A recommendation from the right person can open doors that remain closed to others. A conversation can lead to a partnership. A friendship can lead to a business opportunity. A mentor can help you avoid costly mistakes. Strong relationships are rarely built overnight. They grow through consistent effort, honesty, reliability, and mutual respect. Every day presents opportunities to strengthen connections with others. Another habit that attracts profitable opportunities is managing your energy. Many people focus only on time management. Time is important, but energy is equally important. You can have several free hours and accomplish very little if your energy is low. Your physical condition influences your mental performance. Sleep affects decision-making. Exercise improves focus. Nutrition impacts productivity. Stress influences creativity. Taking care of your body is not separate from financial success. It supports it. When your mind is sharp and your energy is strong, you make better decisions and perform at a higher level. Consistency is perhaps the most underrated habit of all. People often become excited when starting something new. They feel motivated for a few days or weeks. then enthusiasm fades. The wealth-building mindset does not depend on constant motivation. It depends on consistency. The person who studies for 30 minutes every day often surpasses the person who studies intensely for 1 week and then quits. The person who saves small amounts consistently often builds more wealth than someone who waits for perfect conditions. The person who improves slightly each day eventually achieves results that appear extraordinary to others. Profitable opportunities are often attracted to people who demonstrate reliability. When others know they can depend on you, trust grows. Trust creates opportunities. Opportunities create income. Income creates options. The chain begins with daily habits. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be periods when results are invisible. There will be moments when effort seems unrewarded. During those times, many people quit. The mindset that prints money understands something important. Results are often delayed. The work you do today may not produce rewards immediately. The book you read today may create an idea next year. The skill you practice today may lead to a promotion later. The relationship you build today may create an opportunity years from now. Nothing is wasted when it contributes to your growth. Every productive habit is an investment in your future self. When you repeatedly choose discipline over distraction, learning over stagnation, action over excuses, and consistency over convenience, you gradually become the type of person opportunities seek. That transformation is where real financial growth begins. Money is often a reflection of value, discipline, awareness, and persistence. Daily habits strengthen all four. The person who develops these habits does not need to chase every opportunity desperately. Over time, opportunities begin finding them, because they have become prepared to recognize and use them wisely. That is the true power of developing daily habits that attract profitable opportunities consistently. It is not about one breakthrough moment. It is about becoming someone who is ready whenever opportunity arrives. Chapter 2. Eliminate limiting beliefs that block financial growth potential. Financial growth often begins long before money enters your bank account. It starts inside your mind. Every decision you make about earning, saving, investing, negotiating, learning, and taking risks is influenced by what you believe. Many people work hard for years yet never achieve the level of success they desire. The problem is not always a lack of effort. Sometimes the real barrier is an invisible set of beliefs that quietly controls their actions. A limiting belief is an assumption you accept as true even when it works against your growth. It shapes what you expect from life. It influences what opportunities you pursue and which opportunities you avoid. Some people believe wealthy individuals are simply lucky. Others believe financial success is reserved for a select group of people. Some assume they are too old to start something new. Others believe they are too young to be taken seriously. These beliefs may feel real, but feelings do not always reflect reality. A person who believes money is impossible to earn in large amounts will unconsciously avoid actions that could increase income. He may refuse to learn valuable skills. He may avoid negotiating for better pay. He may hesitate to start a business. He may reject opportunities because they seem too ambitious. The belief becomes a self-imposed limit. Meanwhile, another person with similar abilities may approach life differently. He believes improvement is possible. He believes skills can be developed. He believes challenges can be overcome through learning and persistence. Because of those beliefs, he takes action. The difference is not intelligence alone. The difference is often the story each person tells themselves. Many limiting beliefs are formed early in life. A child may hear repeated statements such as money is hard to earn, rich people are dishonest, success is only for special individuals, or financial security is impossible. After hearing these messages repeatedly, the child may carry them into adulthood without questioning them. Years later, those beliefs continue influencing behavior. The first step toward eliminating limiting beliefs is becoming aware of them. You cannot change what you refuse to examine. Pay attention to your internal conversations. Notice your immediate reactions when thinking about wealth, business, investing, or career advancement. Do you immediately focus on reasons something cannot work? Do you assume success belongs to other people? Do you believe your circumstances permanently define your future? These reactions provide clues about hidden beliefs. A useful exercise is to complete simple statements honestly. Money is, wealthy people are, success requires, people like me can, my financial future will. The answers may reveal patterns you have never noticed before. Many people discover they have been carrying beliefs that no longer serve them. Once a limiting belief becomes visible, the next step is challenging its accuracy. Ask yourself where the belief came from. Was it based on personal experience? Was it inherited from family members? Was it influenced by a few isolated events? Was it formed during a difficult period of life? Many beliefs survive simply because they have never been questioned. Consider someone who believes he is bad with money. Perhaps he made several poor financial decisions years ago. Since then, he has repeated that label so often that it feels like part of his identity. But making mistakes does not mean someone is permanently incapable. Every financially successful person has made errors. The difference is that successful individuals learn from mistakes instead of turning them into permanent definitions. A poor decision is an event. A limiting belief turns that event into an identity. When people confuse the two, growth slows dramatically. Another common belief is that earning more money requires working endless hours. While effort is important, income is often connected to value, skill, and effectiveness rather than pure time alone. A highly skilled professional may earn more in a few hours than someone else earns in an entire week. A business owner may create systems that generate income even when not actively working. Someone who develops rare expertise can often increase earnings without increasing workload at the same rate. When people release outdated assumptions about income, they become open to better possibilities. Fear also plays a major role in limiting beliefs. Fear of failure prevents many people from pursuing opportunities. They worry about making mistakes. They worry about criticism. They worry about looking inexperienced. As a result, they remain stuck in familiar situations that no longer serve them. Yet failure is often one of the greatest teachers available. Every entrepreneur who succeeds eventually encounters setbacks. Every investor experiences losses. Every skilled professional begins as a beginner. Growth requires accepting temporary discomfort. The goal is not to eliminate fear completely. The goal is learning how to act despite it. Another limiting belief appears when people compare themselves constantly to others. They see someone who has achieved impressive results and immediately conclude they can never reach that level. What they fail to see is the years of effort behind the visible success. They compare their beginning to someone else's middle, or even their later stages of development. This comparison creates discouragement and weakens confidence. A more productive approach is comparing yourself to your previous self. Focus on whether you are improving. Focus on whether your skills are growing. Focus on whether your knowledge is expanding. Progress becomes much easier when your attention is directed toward growth rather than comparison. Environment also influences beliefs. People often underestimate the impact of the conversations they hear regularly. If everyone around you constantly complains about money, opportunities, business, and success, those attitudes gradually affect your thinking. Negativity spreads easily. Limitations spreads easily. Excuses spread easily. This does not mean abandoning people you care about. It means becoming intentional about the information you consume and the influences you allow into your mind. Spend time learning from individuals who have achieved results you admire. Read books that expand your perspective. Listen to ideas that challenge your assumptions. Expose yourself to evidence that greater possibilities exist. The mind often accepts new beliefs when it repeatedly sees proof. Another powerful shift occurs when you stop viewing wealth as something separate from service. Many limiting beliefs come from the idea that pursuing financial success is selfish. In reality, money often flows toward those who solve meaningful problems. A business creates jobs. A useful product improves lives. A valuable service helps others achieve goals. When financial success is connected to creating value, it becomes easier to pursue growth with confidence and integrity. This perspective removes unnecessary guilt and replaces it with responsibility. The more value you provide, the greater your potential rewards. That understanding changes how you approach work, learning, and opportunity. Limiting beliefs do not disappear overnight. They are replaced gradually through evidence and action. Each time you do something that contradicts an old belief, your confidence grows. When you learn a new skill, you prove growth is possible. When you earn additional income, you prove improvement is possible. When you solve a difficult problem, you prove capability is expanding. Small victories accumulate. Over time, they create a stronger identity. Eventually, you stop seeing yourself as someone trapped by circumstances. You begin seeing yourself as someone capable of creating change. That shift is powerful because financial growth is rarely limited by external conditions alone. More often, it is limited by what people believe they deserve, what they believe they can achieve, and what they believe is possible. The mindset that prints money requires removing those invisible barriers. It requires replacing doubt with evidence, excuses with responsibility, and fixed assumptions with continuous learning. The moment you stop accepting limiting beliefs as permanent truths, new opportunities begin entering your field of vision. The world itself may not change immediately. Your circumstances may not transform overnight, but your decisions begin changing, your actions begin changing, your standards begin changing. And when those changes occur consistently, financial growth becomes far more likely because the greatest obstacle is no longer standing in your way. That obstacle was never the economy, the competition, or the timing. It was the belief that your potential had limits when it was actually waiting to be developed. Chapter 3. Strengthen disciplined decisions that multiply income over time. Many people focus heavily on earning more money while paying very little attention to the decisions that determine whether that money grows or disappears. Income matters, but decisions matter even more. Two people can earn the same amount for years and end up with completely different financial futures. One builds freedom, security, and opportunity. The other remains trapped in constant financial pressure. The difference is often found in thousands of small decisions made consistently over time. The mindset that prints money understands a simple truth. Financial success is rarely created by one massive decision. More often, it is the result of disciplined choices repeated day after day, month after month, and year after year. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people associate it with restriction and sacrifice. They view discipline as something unpleasant. In reality, discipline is what allows people to create better options for themselves in the future. Every decision either strengthens your financial position or weakens it. Every choice carries consequences. Some consequences appear immediately, others remain hidden for years before revealing themselves. Consider the person who spends every dollar earned without planning for the future. At first, life may seem enjoyable. Purchases provide temporary satisfaction. There is no need to think about saving, investing, or preparation. Then an unexpected expense arrives. A job loss occurs. A family emergency appears. An economic downturn affects income. Suddenly, the absence of disciplined decisions becomes painfully visible. Another person may have earned the same income during those years. Instead of spending everything, he consistently set aside a portion of his earnings. He developed the habit of preparing before problems appeared. When challenges arrive, he faces them from a position of strength. The difference was not luck. The difference was discipline. One of the most powerful financial decisions you can make is learning to delay gratification. Modern society encourages immediate consumption. Advertising constantly promotes the idea that happiness can be purchased instantly. Buy now, upgrade now, spend now, enjoy now. Very few messages encourage patience. Yet patience is often one of the greatest financial advantages available. People who can delay short-term rewards frequently achieve larger rewards later. This principle applies far beyond money. Students who consistently study achieve greater opportunities. Athletes who train regularly improve performance. Business owners who invest in growth create stronger companies. Investors who remain patient often experience greater long-term returns. The ability to delay gratification is not about denying yourself forever. It is about making thoughtful decisions rather than emotional ones. A disciplined person asks an important question before spending money. Will this purchase improve my future, or simply satisfy a temporary desire? That question alone can prevent countless financial mistakes. Another decision that multiplies income over time is investing in personal development. Many people spend years searching for ways to increase earnings while neglecting the very thing that determines earning potential: themselves. Your skills influence your value. Your value influences your income. When you improve your abilities, you expand your opportunities. A salesperson who improves communication skills often earns more. A manager who develops leadership abilities often advances further. A business owner who learns marketing may attract more customers. An employee who acquires specialized expertise becomes more valuable in the marketplace. The highest return on investment often comes from developing yourself. Skills can generate income repeatedly for decades. Possessions usually lose value. Knowledge often creates value. This is why disciplined individuals make learning a permanent part of life. They understand that financial growth frequently follows personal growth. Another critical decision involves how you respond to setbacks. Most people experience financial disappointments at some point. A business idea fails. An investment performs poorly. A promotion never arrives. A customer leaves. A deal falls apart. These moments test character. Undisciplined individuals often react emotionally. They become discouraged. They quit too quickly. They abandon goals because progress becomes difficult. Disciplined thinkers respond differently. They analyze what happened. They identify lessons. They adjust strategies. Then they continue moving forward. This approach creates an enormous advantage over time. Every setback becomes education rather than defeat. Every challenge becomes preparation for future opportunities. The ability to remain rational during difficult periods protects long-term growth. Many financial mistakes occur when emotions take control. Fear causes people to abandon good opportunities. Excitement causes people to take unnecessary risks. Pride prevents people from admitting mistakes. Impatience encourages poor decisions. Discipline creates stability when emotions become intense. Another income-multiplying decision is choosing productive activities over comfortable distractions. Every day contains a limited number of hours. How those hours are used determines future outcomes. Some activities create long-term value. Others simply consume time. Reading useful material can expand knowledge. Practicing a skill can increase competence. Building relationships can create opportunities. Working on a business can generate future income. Learning new technologies can improve career prospects. These activities may not provide instant rewards, but they create future benefits. Unfortunately, many people choose immediate entertainment whenever a difficult task appears. Hours disappear, Days pass, months vanish. Then they wonder why progress feels slow. Disciplined individuals recognize that every hour represents an investment. They become intentional about where their attention goes. Attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Where attention goes, growth follows. Where attention disappears, opportunities often disappear as well. Another important decision involves the people you listen to. Advice shapes decisions. Decisions shape outcomes. Many individuals accept financial guidance from people who have never achieved the results they desire. They listen to pessimistic voices. They absorb limiting opinions. They adopt beliefs rooted in fear rather than experience. Disciplined thinkers evaluate advice carefully. They seek wisdom from credible sources. They learn from individuals who have demonstrated competence. They study successful principles rather than popular opinions. This does not mean blindly copying others. It means learning from evidence rather than assumptions. The quality of information entering your mind influences the quality of decisions leaving it. A disciplined approach to risk is also essential. Some people avoid all risk. Others embrace excessive risk. Neither extreme creates consistent financial growth. Every meaningful opportunity contains some uncertainty. Starting a business involves risk. Changing careers involves risk. Making investments involves risk. Learning a new field involves risk. Growth often requires stepping into unfamiliar territory. The disciplined individual evaluates risks thoughtfully. He gathers information. He prepares carefully. He calculates possible outcomes. Then he acts when the opportunity justifies the risk. This balance allows progress without recklessness. Another powerful decision is creating systems rather than relying on motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you feel energetic. Other mornings you do not. If success depends entirely on motivation, consistency becomes impossible. Systems solve this problem. A system removes unnecessary decision-making. Instead of wondering whether to save money, you automate savings. Instead of deciding whether to learn, you schedule learning. Instead of hoping to become productive, you create routines that encourage productivity. Systems reduce the influence of temporary emotions. Disciplined people build environments that support good decisions automatically. This makes long-term progress far more likely. Financial growth also requires protecting what you earn. Many people focus entirely on increasing income while ignoring unnecessary losses. Small expenses repeated consistently can become significant. Poor financial habits can quietly drain resources. Careless decisions often create long-term consequences. Disciplined individuals monitor where money goes. They understand the difference between spending and investing. They evaluate costs carefully. They make intentional choices rather than impulsive ones. This awareness strengthens financial stability. Perhaps the most important decision of all is refusing to stop improving. Income multiplies over time when growth becomes a lifelong commitment. The marketplace rewards people who continue evolving. New opportunities emerge. Industries change. Customer expectations shift. Technology advances. People who remain adaptable maintain their value. Those who stop growing often become vulnerable to change. Disciplined individuals never assume they know everything. They remain curious. They remain teachable. They remain willing to improve. This mindset creates momentum. One good decision leads to another. One productive habit supports the next. One improvement creates opportunities for additional growth. Eventually, the results become visible. Income increases, confidence strengthens, opportunities expand, freedom grows. What appears to others as sudden success is often the result of years of disciplined decisions operating quietly in the background. The mindset that prints money is not built through occasional effort. It is built through consistent choices that align with long-term goals. Every disciplined decision becomes a small financial seed. Most seeds do not produce results immediately, but when planted consistently and protected patiently, they eventually create outcomes far larger than the effort required to begin. That is how income multiplies over time, not through luck, not through shortcuts, not through wishful thinking, but through disciplined decisions repeated long enough for their full power to emerge. Chapter 4. Identify valuable skills people willingly pay for. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is assuming income is determined only by effort. They believe that working harder automatically leads to earning more. While effort certainly matters, the marketplace rewards something more specific. It rewards value. The mindset that prints money understands a principle that many people overlook. People do not pay simply because someone worked hard. They pay because a skill, service, or solution helps them achieve a desired result. This is why two people can work equally hard and earn dramatically different incomes. One person may spend hours performing tasks that are easy to replace. Another may spend the same number of hours applying specialized skills that solve important problems. The difference is not always effort. The difference is value. If financial growth is your goal, one of the most important questions you can ask yourself is simple. What skills do people willingly pay for? The answer to that question can change the direction of your future. Many people spend years developing abilities that provide little economic value. Then they become frustrated when opportunities remain limited. The marketplace operates according to demand. The more useful a skill becomes to other people, the greater its earning potential often becomes. This does not mean chasing every trend or abandoning your interests. It means learning to connect your abilities with real needs that exist in the world. Every successful professional eventually discovers this connection. Every successful entrepreneur understands this principle. Every successful organization depends on it. The first category of valuable skills involves communication. Communication affects nearly every area of life. People who communicate clearly often earn more opportunities than those who cannot express ideas effectively. A manager must communicate expectations. A salesperson must communicate value. A business owner must communicate solutions. A leader must communicate vision. Even technical experts benefit from communication skills because knowledge has limited impact if it cannot be shared effectively. Many talented individuals remain unnoticed because they struggle to explain what they know. Meanwhile, others with similar expertise advance faster because they can communicate clearly and confidently. Improving communication is one of the highest return investments you can make. It affects interviews. It affects negotiations. It affects relationships. It affects leadership. It affects sales. Every improvement in communication increases your ability to create value for others. Another highly valuable skill is problem solving. People pay for solutions. They pay to save time. They pay to reduce stress. They pay to improve outcomes. They pay to avoid mistakes. The larger the problem you can solve, the more valuable your skills become. A business hires employees who solve problems. Customers buy products that solve problems. Clients pay consultants who solve problems. Investors support ideas that solve problems. This is why successful individuals train themselves to think critically. Instead of complaining about obstacles, they look for answers. Instead of focusing on limitations, they search for possibilities. When you become known as someone who finds solutions, opportunities begin appearing more frequently. People remember problem solvers. Organizations depend on problem solvers. The marketplace rewards problem solvers. Another skill people willingly pay for is sales. Many people misunderstand sales because they associate it with pressure or manipulation. Real sales is simply helping people make decisions that benefit them. Every business depends on sales. Without customers, no company survives. Without revenue, no organization grows. Whether you realize it or not, Sales influences many areas of life. Job interviews involve selling your value. Business proposals involve selling ideas. Leadership often involves selling a vision. Negotiation involves presenting value persuasively. Learning how to understand people's needs and communicate benefits effectively can dramatically increase your earning potential. Even if you never work in a traditional sales role, sales skills remain valuable. Another important category involves digital skills. Technology continues changing the way people work, communicate, and conduct business. Individuals who understand digital tools often gain significant advantages. This includes areas such as content creation, digital marketing, data analysis, software development, design, automation, and online business management. You do not need to master every technical field. What matters is developing expertise in areas that create measurable value. Companies constantly seek individuals who can help them grow, improve efficiency, attract customers, and solve technological challenges. The demand for these abilities continues expanding. People who commit to learning modern skills position themselves for future opportunities rather than relying solely on past methods. Leadership is another skill that generates tremendous value. Many people assume leadership belongs only to executives or business owners. In reality, leadership exists wherever people influence others positively. Strong leaders improve team performance. They create trust. They solve conflicts. They maintain focus during difficult situations. They help others perform at a higher level. Organizations place enormous value on individuals who can guide people effectively. Leadership often leads to increased responsibility, greater opportunities, and higher compensation because good leaders help produce results beyond their own individual efforts. The ability to lead multiplies impact. Financial growth often follows increased impact. Another highly valuable skill is adaptability. The world changes faster than many people expect. Industries evolve. Markets shift. Technologies emerge. Consumer preferences change. Individuals who resist change often struggle. Those who adapt remain relevant. Adaptability allows you to learn quickly, adjust strategies, and remain effective in uncertain environments. Employers value adaptability. Businesses value adaptability. Clients value adaptability. The more flexible and capable you become, the more opportunities you can pursue. Adaptability transforms change from a threat into an advantage. Another profitable skill is time management. Many people have good ideas. Many possess talent. Many have ambition, yet they fail to produce meaningful results because they manage time poorly. Time is one resource that cannot be recovered. People who use it effectively accomplish more, learn faster, and create greater value. They prioritize important tasks. They avoid unnecessary distractions. They focus on activities that generate results. This ability becomes increasingly valuable as responsibilities grow. The marketplace rewards productivity because productivity creates outcomes. Another powerful skill involves building relationships. Opportunities often travel through people. Partnerships emerge through relationships. Referrals come through relationships. Business growth frequently depends on relationships. Career advancement often depends on relationships. People prefer working with individuals they trust. Trust develops through consistency, honesty, reliability, and genuine interest in others. Some individuals focus exclusively on technical skills while neglecting relationship skills. This limits growth. Success frequently involves both competence and connection. People must know your value before they can benefit from it. Strong relationships help create that awareness. Learning is another skill that deserves special attention. Many people view learning as something temporary. They learn until school ends and then stop developing. The most successful individuals approach learning differently. They become lifelong students. They continuously acquire knowledge. They update skills. They expand understanding. This creates a powerful advantage because the ability to learn quickly allows you to adapt to almost any situation. The future belongs to those who remain teachable. Every new skill creates additional possibilities. Every new insight expands your potential value. Perhaps the most important lesson is understanding that valuable skills are developed, not inherited. Many people believe successful individuals possess natural talents unavailable to others. While talent can help, consistent practice often matters far more. Communication improves through repetition. Leadership improves through experience. Problem-solving improves through effort. Sales improves through practice. Confidence improves through action. Skills are built. They are strengthened. They are refined. This realization is empowering because it places growth within your control. You do not need permission to improve. You do not need perfect circumstances to learn. You do not need extraordinary advantages to begin developing valuable abilities. You only need commitment. When identifying skills worth pursuing, ask practical questions. Does this skill solve a meaningful problem? Does this skill help people achieve important results? Does this skill create measurable value? Is demand for this skill growing? Can this skill be improved through deliberate practice? The more positive answers you find, the more likely the skill can contribute to financial growth. The mindset that prints money focuses less on chasing income directly and more on becoming increasingly valuable. Income is often a result rather than a starting point. When your ability to create value expands, earning potential usually expands alongside it. People willingly pay for solutions. They willingly pay for expertise. They willingly pay for efficiency. They willingly pay for results. Your goal is not simply to work harder than everyone else. Your goal is to develop skills that produce meaningful outcomes for others. When you commit yourself to that path, opportunities become easier to recognize, confidence grows stronger, and financial growth becomes a natural consequence of the value you bring into the world. That is why identifying valuable skills is not merely a career strategy. It is one of the most reliable ways to build a future with greater freedom, greater opportunity, and greater financial potential. Chapter 5. Build confidence to pursue bigger financial goals. Many people never reach their financial potential because they set goals that feel safe rather than goals that reflect what they are truly capable of achieving. They limit themselves before the world ever has a chance to challenge them. They stay inside familiar boundaries because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. The mindset that prints money requires something many people struggle to develop. It requires confidence, not the kind of confidence that comes from pretending to know everything, not the kind of confidence that depends on constant praise from others. Real confidence is much deeper than that. Real confidence is the belief that you can learn, adapt, recover, and continue moving forward regardless of obstacles. Financial growth often demands bigger decisions. You may need to apply for a position that feels beyond your current level. You may need to start a business when success is not guaranteed. You may need to invest time and resources into learning a new skill. You may need to approach potential clients, negotiate higher compensation, or pursue opportunities that seem intimidating. Without confidence, many of these actions never happen. People remain trapped in familiar routines because fear appears larger than possibility. Confidence changes that equation. Confidence allows possibility to become stronger than fear. One of the greatest misunderstandings about confidence is the belief that it arrives before action. Many people wait until they feel completely confident before taking a risk. They tell themselves they will start when they feel ready. They will apply when they feel qualified. They will launch the business when they feel certain. They will speak up when they feel fearless. The problem is that confidence rarely works this way. Confidence usually follows action. It grows from experience. It develops through repetition. It strengthens through evidence. A person does not become confident at public speaking by thinking about it for years. Confidence grows by speaking repeatedly. An entrepreneur does not become confident by endlessly studying business. Confidence grows through building, selling, solving problems, and learning from mistakes. An investor becomes more confident through understanding markets and making thoughtful decisions over time. Action creates evidence. Evidence builds confidence. The process works in that order. Many people underestimate how much confidence is connected to preparation. Preparation reduces uncertainty. The more prepared you become, the stronger your confidence often becomes. A student who studies thoroughly enters an examination with greater confidence. An athlete who trains consistently performs with greater confidence. A professional who masters valuable skills approaches opportunities with greater confidence. Preparation cannot guarantee outcomes, but it increases your belief in your ability to handle challenges. That belief becomes extremely valuable when pursuing larger financial goals. Consider someone who wants to start a business. Without preparation, the idea may feel overwhelming. There are too many unknowns, too many questions, too many possible risks. But as knowledge increases, confidence begins growing. The person learns about customers, learns about marketing, learns about operations, learns about finances. Each piece of understanding reduces uncertainty. Confidence gradually replaces hesitation. This is why learning is often one of the fastest paths to greater confidence. Knowledge creates clarity. Clarity creates certainty. Certainty supports action. Another important factor is the relationship between confidence and self-trust. Many individuals struggle with confidence because they no longer trust themselves. Over time, they have developed a pattern of making commitments and abandoning them. They promise themselves they will save money, then they spend it. They promise they will learn a skill, then they postpone it. They promise they will pursue a goal, then they quit when difficulties appear. Each broken commitment weakens self-trust. When self-trust declines, confidence follows. Fortunately, the solution is straightforward. Begin making small promises and keeping them consistently. Commit to reading for 20 minutes each day. Commit to saving a specific amount each month. Commit to learning a new skill regularly. Then follow through. Each completed commitment strengthens your belief in yourself. Over time, you begin seeing yourself differently. You stop viewing yourself as someone who merely talks about goals. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That identity creates powerful confidence. Another obstacle to confidence is excessive comparison. Many people compare themselves to individuals who have spent years or even decades developing expertise. They look at successful entrepreneurs, investors, executives, and creators and immediately feel inadequate. They focus on the gap between their current position and someone else's achievements. This comparison creates discouragement. It shifts attention away from growth. The truth is that every successful person began somewhere. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every leader was once uncertain. Every business owner was once unknown. The difference is that they continued moving forward despite imperfect beginnings. Confidence grows much faster when you focus on progress instead of comparison. Ask yourself whether you are improving. Ask whether your skills are stronger than they were 6 months ago. Ask whether your knowledge is expanding. Ask whether your habits are becoming more productive. Progress creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Another critical lesson involves redefining failure. Many people fear financial goals because they fear failure. They imagine making mistakes. They imagine losing money. They imagine embarrassment. They imagine criticism. As a result, they avoid opportunities that could transform their lives. The mindset that prints money views failure differently. Failure is information. Failure provides feedback. Failure reveals weaknesses that need improvement. Failure exposes assumptions that need adjustment. Every successful person has encountered failure. The difference is not the absence of mistakes. The difference is the willingness to learn from them. When you stop viewing failure as proof of inadequacy, confidence increases. You become less afraid of taking action because mistakes no longer define your identity. They simply become part of the learning process. Another way to build confidence is by expanding your comfort zone gradually. Many people believe confidence requires giant leaps. In reality, confidence often develops through small challenges completed consistently. If speaking to potential clients feels intimidating, start with one conversation. If networking feels uncomfortable, attend one event. If investing feels confusing, begin studying and learning the fundamentals. If leadership feels difficult, start by helping one person. Each challenge expands your capabilities slightly. Those small expansions accumulate. Months later, tasks that once seemed impossible begin feeling normal. Confidence grows because experience grows. Your financial goals should also evolve as confidence grows. Many individuals set goals based on current circumstances rather than future potential. They aim too low because they fear disappointment. They underestimate what consistent effort can produce. A person earning a modest income may struggle to imagine building significant wealth. A new entrepreneur may struggle to envision a successful company. A beginner investor may struggle to imagine long-term financial freedom. Yet nearly every major achievement begins as something difficult to imagine. The purpose of a larger goal is not to create pressure. The purpose is to expand thinking. Larger goals encourage larger growth. They demand better habits. They require stronger skills. They inspire greater discipline. Confidence allows you to pursue these goals rather than dismiss them. Environment also influences confidence. The people around you affect how you see yourself. Constant negativity weakens belief. Constant criticism weakens motivation. Constant pessimism shrinks ambition. On the other hand, exposure to growth-oriented people often expands perspective. You begin seeing possibilities that previously seemed unrealistic. You discover new approaches. You learn from experiences beyond your own. This environment reinforces confidence because it provides evidence that growth is achievable. One of the most powerful sources of confidence comes from remembering previous victories. Many people focus so heavily on what remains undone that they forget how far they have already come. Think about challenges you have overcome. Think about skills you have developed. Think about obstacles you have survived. Think about goals you once considered difficult, but eventually achieved. Those experiences provide proof. They remind you that growth is possible. They remind you that adaptation is possible. They remind you that progress is possible. Confidence grows when you recognize your ability to handle life's demands. As financial goals become larger, confidence becomes increasingly important because opportunities often require courage before they provide rewards. The promotion requires applying. The business requires starting. The investment requires deciding. The partnership requires reaching out. The opportunity requires action. Without confidence, hesitation wins. With confidence, action becomes possible. The mindset that prints money is not built on arrogance. It is built on self-belief, supported by preparation, discipline, learning, and experience. You do not need to know everything before moving forward. You do not need perfect certainty before taking action. You do not need guarantees before pursuing a larger future. You need confidence in your ability to learn, adapt, and continue growing. That confidence transforms financial goals from distant dreams into achievable targets. And once confidence and action begin working together, opportunities that once seemed out of reach start becoming part of your reality. Chapter 6. Focus attention on activities generating meaningful economic results. One of the greatest challenges in modern life is not a lack of opportunity. It is a lack of focus. Every day, countless distractions compete for attention. Notifications arrive constantly. Entertainment is available at every moment. Endless information fills screens from morning until night. Many people stay busy all day and still make very little progress toward their financial goals. They confuse activity with productivity. They mistake motion for advancement. They spend hours reacting to whatever appears in front of them instead of directing their energy toward what truly matters. The mindset that prints money requires a different approach. It requires learning how to focus attention on activities that generate meaningful economic results. Attention is one of the most valuable assets you possess. Unlike money, once a moment of attention is spent, it can never be recovered. Every hour invested in one activity is an hour unavailable for something else. This is why successful people treat attention with care. They understand that where attention goes, results often follow. Many people assume financial growth depends entirely on working longer hours. In reality, the quality of those hours often matters more than the quantity. 10 focused hours spent creating value can produce far greater results than 50 hours spent on low-impact activities. The key is learning to identify what actually moves you forward. Consider a business owner. At any given moment, there are hundreds of possible tasks demanding attention. Emails need responses. Meetings require attendance. Administrative work accumulates. Unexpected problems appear. While many of these activities are necessary, not all contribute equally to growth. Some activities directly increase revenue. Others simply maintain operations. A disciplined entrepreneur learns to distinguish between the two. The same principle applies to employees, freelancers, investors, and professionals in every field. Not all work creates equal value. Some tasks produce meaningful results. Others merely create the feeling of being busy. Learning the difference can transform your financial future. One useful question to ask yourself regularly is simple. If I could only complete one task today that would most improve my financial future, what would it be? The answer often reveals where your attention should go. Unfortunately, many people avoid high-value activities because they are difficult. They require concentration. They demand effort. They expose weaknesses. They involve uncertainty. Low-value activities often feel easier. Checking messages feels productive. Organizing files feels productive. Attending unnecessary meetings feels productive. Yet these tasks rarely create significant growth. The activities that generate meaningful economic results usually require deeper focus. A salesperson generating new business creates value. A writer producing content creates value. A programmer building software creates value. A business owner developing new systems creates value. An investor researching opportunities creates value. A professional learning a skill that increases earning potential creates value. These activities contribute directly to future income. The challenge is that important work rarely demands immediate attention. Distractions do. Urgent tasks often appear louder than valuable tasks. This is why discipline becomes essential. You must learn to prioritize significance over urgency. Many people spend their entire lives solving small problems while neglecting larger opportunities. They handle every minor issue immediately. They react to every interruption. They chase every distraction. Years pass, and little changes financially. Meanwhile, individuals who consistently focus on high-impact activities gradually build momentum. Their skills improve, their opportunities expand, their income increases. The difference often comes down to where attention is directed each day. Another important principle involves understanding leverage. Leverage means creating results that extend beyond a single effort. Some activities provide value only once. Other activities continue producing benefits long after the work is completed. A person who spends an hour watching random videos may gain temporary entertainment. A person who spends that same hour learning a valuable skill may benefit for years. A business owner who creates a useful system may save hundreds of future hours. An author who writes a book creates an asset that can continue generating value. An entrepreneur who develops a successful product creates something capable of serving thousands of customers. Leverage multiplies effort. The mindset that prints money constantly looks for activities capable of producing lasting results. This does not mean avoiding necessary responsibilities. It means allocating significant attention to work that creates future opportunities. Many people also underestimate the financial value of learning. Learning is often viewed as preparation rather than production, yet learning can become one of the highest return activities available. Every new skill increases your capacity to create value. Every new insight improves decision-making. Every lesson learned can prevent costly mistakes. A person who spends years improving communication skills may earn significantly more throughout a career. Someone who studies negotiation can improve countless future agreements. Someone who learns business fundamentals can identify opportunities others overlook. Knowledge compounds. The benefits accumulate over time. This is why successful individuals often dedicate consistent time to learning even when they are already busy. They understand that future income frequently depends on current education. Another activity that generates meaningful economic results is relationship building. Many people focus exclusively on tasks while neglecting people. This creates a major limitation. Opportunities often arrive through relationships. Referrals come through relationships. Partnerships come through relationships. Mentorship comes through relationships. Career advancement often comes through relationships. Trust creates opportunities that skill alone cannot always provide. Building strong relationships requires genuine effort. It requires listening. It requires helping others. It requires consistency. It requires integrity. These investments may not produce immediate rewards, but over time they can become extraordinarily valuable. A single conversation can lead to a partnership. A single relationship can create opportunities worth far more than years of isolated effort. This is why relationship building should never be viewed as separate from financial growth. It is often one of its foundations. Another area where attention must be directed carefully is decision-making. Poor decisions create expensive consequences. Good decisions create lasting benefits. Every financial choice influences future possibilities. Spending decisions matter. Investment decisions matter. Career decisions matter. Business decisions matter. The quality of your decisions often reflects the quality of your thinking. People who rush important decisions frequently pay a price later. Disciplined individuals take time to gather information, evaluate options, and consider long-term consequences. This thoughtful approach protects resources and increases opportunities. Meaningful economic results often emerge from a series of intelligent decisions rather than a single dramatic event. Many people also waste attention worrying about things they cannot control. They worry about competitors. They worry about economic conditions. They worry about circumstances beyond their influence. While awareness is important, excessive concern about uncontrollable factors drains valuable mental energy. Successful individuals focus on controllable actions. They improve skills. They strengthen habits. They expand knowledge. They increase value. They improve performance. This approach creates progress regardless of external conditions. Control your effort. Control your preparation. Control your learning. Control your decisions. These areas offer the greatest return on attention. Another important distinction involves consumption versus creation. Most people spend far more time consuming than creating. They consume content. They consume entertainment. They consume opinions. They consume information. Consumption has its place. Learning and relaxation are important, but financial growth often accelerates when creation becomes a priority. Creating solutions generates value. Creating products generates value. Creating services generates value. Creating content generates value. Creating systems generates value. The marketplace rewards creators because creators contribute something useful. Every hour spent creating often has greater long-term potential than an hour spent consuming. The mindset that prints money encourages a shift from passive participation toward active contribution. Ask yourself regularly what you are creating. The answer reveals much about your future trajectory. Focus also requires the ability to say no. Every commitment carries a cost. Every obligation consumes time and energy. Many people struggle financially because they attempt to do everything. They pursue too many goals. They accept too many responsibilities. They divide attention among countless priorities. As a result, progress remains slow. Focused individuals make difficult choices. They eliminate distractions. They reduce unnecessary commitments. They protect time for meaningful work. This concentration increases effectiveness dramatically. The most successful people are not always those who do more. Often they are the ones who focus more intensely on what matters most. The mindset that prints money recognizes that attention is an investment. Every day you decide where that investment goes. You can spend it reacting to distractions. You can spend it chasing temporary pleasures, or you can invest it in activities that create future value. Skills create value. Relationships create value. Problem solving creates value. Learning creates value. Creation creates value. Strategic thinking creates value. When attention consistently flows toward these activities, meaningful economic results begin to emerge. Not immediately, not overnight, but steadily. The process may appear slow in the beginning, then momentum builds, opportunities increase, income expands, confidence grows. The gap between effort and reward gradually narrows because your energy is finally directed toward work that matters. That is the power of focusing attention on activities that generate meaningful economic results. It is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most often enough for the results to compound over time. Chapter 7. Create resilient thinking during setbacks and market changes. No financial journey moves in a straight line. There are periods of growth and periods of uncertainty. There are seasons when opportunities seem abundant and seasons when progress feels slow. Markets rise and fall. Businesses expand and contract. Careers accelerate and sometimes stall unexpectedly. Many people enter the pursuit of financial success believing that hard work alone will guarantee smooth progress. Then reality introduces challenges. A deal collapses. A customer leaves. An investment declines. A company restructures. A project fails. A recession appears. Suddenly, the confidence that once felt strong begins to weaken. This is where resilient thinking becomes one of the most valuable financial assets a person can develop. The mindset that prints money is not built only during favorable conditions. It is built during difficult periods when uncertainty tests your ability to remain focused, disciplined, and rational. Resilience is not the absence of difficulty. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward despite difficulty. It is the ability to think clearly when emotions become intense. It is the ability to adapt when circumstances change. It is the ability to recover after disappointment. Many people underestimate how much financial success depends on emotional stability. Knowledge matters, skills matter, strategy matters, but emotional control often determines whether those advantages are used effectively. Consider an investor during a market decline. Fear spreads quickly. Negative headlines dominate conversations. Predictions become increasingly pessimistic. Many people react emotionally. They abandon plans. They make impulsive decisions. They focus on short-term anxiety instead of long-term objectives. A resilient thinker approaches the situation differently. He evaluates facts rather than reacting solely to emotions. He remembers that market fluctuations are normal. He understands that temporary declines do not necessarily determine future outcomes. This perspective allows better decision-making. The same principle applies to business. Every successful business eventually faces obstacles. Customer preferences change. Competition increases. Unexpected expenses appear. Economic conditions shift. Organizations that survive are rarely those that avoid challenges completely. They are often the ones that adapt effectively. The individuals leading those organizations think resiliently. They focus on solutions. They remain flexible. They continue learning. They adjust strategies without abandoning their goals. Resilient thinking begins with accepting an important truth. Setbacks are not exceptions. They are part of the process. Many people suffer unnecessary frustration because they expect progress to occur without resistance. When challenges appear, they assume something has gone wrong. In reality, obstacles are often evidence that growth is taking place. Every meaningful pursuit involves difficulty. Every worthwhile goal demands persistence. Every significant achievement requires overcoming problems. Once you accept this reality, setbacks become less shocking. You stop treating them as signs that you should quit. Instead, you begin viewing them as situations that require adaptation. Another essential aspect of resilience is separating events from identity. Many individuals experience a failure and immediately attach it to who they are. A business fails and they conclude they are a failure. An investment performs poorly and they conclude they are incapable. A job application is rejected and they conclude they are unqualified. This type of thinking creates unnecessary suffering. An event is not an identity. A setback is not a permanent definition. A mistake represents something that happened. It does not determine who you are. Resilient individuals maintain this distinction. They analyze outcomes objectively. They learn lessons. They improve strategies. Then they continue moving forward. This mindset preserves confidence even during difficult periods. Another powerful habit is focusing on what can be controlled. When market conditions change, many factors remain outside your influence. You cannot control economic cycles. You cannot control global events. You cannot control the actions of competitors. You cannot control every external circumstance. However, you can control your preparation. You can control your effort. You can control your learning. You can control your response. You can control your decisions. Resilient thinkers direct energy toward these areas. This approach reduces helplessness. It creates a sense of agency. Instead of feeling trapped by circumstances, you begin identifying productive actions. Even small actions restore momentum. Momentum restores confidence. Confidence supports resilience. Another challenge during setbacks is the tendency to focus exclusively on immediate problems. When difficulties arise, attention naturally narrows. People become consumed by what is happening right now. They lose sight of the larger picture. Resilient thinkers intentionally maintain a broader perspective. They ask important questions. Will this problem matter 5 years from now? What lesson can be learned from this experience? How can this challenge improve future decisions? What opportunities might emerge because of this situation? These questions shift attention away from panic and toward growth. Perspective often determines whether a setback becomes a temporary obstacle or a lasting limitation. History provides countless examples of individuals who faced significant setbacks before achieving success. Businesses have recovered from severe losses. Investors have rebuilt after downturns. Professionals have recovered from career disappointments. Entrepreneurs have started over after failures. Their success was not based on avoiding difficulties. It was based on responding effectively to them. Another important element of resilient thinking is maintaining realistic optimism. Optimism does not mean ignoring problems. It does not mean pretending everything is perfect. Blind optimism can be dangerous. Resilient optimism is different. It acknowledges reality while maintaining belief in the possibility of improvement. A resilient thinker recognizes challenges honestly. He understands risks. He accepts uncertainty. At the same time, he believes solutions can be found. He believes learning can occur. He believes growth remains possible. This balance between realism and optimism creates strength. Too much negativity leads to paralysis. Too much denial leads to poor decisions. Resilient thinking combines awareness with hope. Adaptability also plays a critical role during market changes. Many people become attached to specific plans. They believe success must occur exactly as originally imagined. When circumstances change, they resist adjusting. This rigidity creates problems. The marketplace constantly evolves. Technology changes. Industries transform. Consumer behavior shifts. Strategies that worked previously may become less effective. Resilient individuals remain flexible. Their goals remain strong. Their methods remain adaptable. If one path closes, they search for another. If one strategy becomes ineffective, they improve it. If one opportunity disappears, they explore alternatives. Adaptability allows progress to continue despite changing conditions. Another way to strengthen resilience is through continuous learning. Knowledge reduces uncertainty. The more you understand markets, business principles, investing, and human behavior, the more confidently you can navigate change. Learning provides perspective. It reveals patterns. It highlights opportunities others may overlook. During difficult periods, education becomes especially valuable because it improves decision-making when decisions matter most. Many successful individuals increase learning during challenging times rather than retreating from growth. They use setbacks as opportunities to become stronger. Resilience also depends on patience. Modern culture often promotes immediate results. People expect rapid progress. They expect quick rewards. When outcomes take longer than expected, discouragement appears. Financial growth rarely follows this timeline. Meaningful success often requires years of consistent effort. Investments need time. Businesses need time. Skills need time. Relationships need time. Patience allows these processes to unfold. Without patience, many people abandon promising opportunities too early. Resilient thinkers understand that temporary discomfort does not necessarily indicate failure. Sometimes progress is occurring beneath the surface. Sometimes results are developing slowly. Sometimes persistence is required before rewards become visible. Another important habit is protecting your mindset during difficult periods. The information you consume influences your emotional state. Constant exposure to fear, negativity, and pessimism weakens resilience. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means being selective. Stay informed without becoming overwhelmed. Seek useful information rather than endless speculation. Focus on facts rather than emotional reactions. Protecting your mental environment strengthens your ability to think clearly. Clear thinking becomes especially valuable during uncertainty. Resilience grows stronger every time you overcome adversity. Each challenge survived becomes evidence. Each setback overcome becomes proof. Each difficult period navigated successfully increases confidence. You begin trusting your ability to handle future obstacles. This trust becomes one of your greatest strengths. Eventually, you stop fearing every change. You stop viewing every setback as a disaster. You stop allowing temporary problems to dictate permanent decisions. Instead, you develop a deeper understanding. Challenges will come. Markets will change. Unexpected events will occur, but you possess the ability to respond. The mindset that prints money is not based on perfect conditions. It is based on resilient thinking that remains steady when conditions become imperfect. That resilience creates an enormous advantage because while others panic, you remain focused. While others quit, you continue adapting. While others become discouraged, you continue learning. And over time, that ability to remain strong through uncertainty becomes one of the most reliable paths to lasting financial growth. Chapter 8. Expand networks that support wealth-building progress. Many people think wealth is built entirely through individual effort. They imagine success as a personal journey where determination alone creates extraordinary results. Hard work is certainly important, but very few people achieve meaningful financial growth completely on their own. Behind nearly every successful entrepreneur, investor, executive, and business owner is a network of relationships that contributed in some way to their progress. The mindset that prints money understands a simple but powerful truth. Opportunities often travel through people. Knowledge travels through people. Partnerships travel through people. Referrals travel through people. Resources travel through people. The stronger and more valuable your network becomes, the greater your potential access to these opportunities. Many people underestimate this principle because they view networking incorrectly. When they hear the word networking, they think about collecting business cards, attending formal events, or trying to impress strangers. Real networking is much deeper than that. At its core, networking is the process of building genuine relationships based on trust, mutual value, and long-term connection. The goal is not simply to know more people. The goal is to build meaningful relationships with people who encourage growth, share knowledge, and contribute positively to your development. One of the most important decisions you can make is evaluating the influence of the people around you. Human beings naturally absorb attitudes, habits, and beliefs from their environment. The people you spend time with influence how you think. They influence what you consider possible. They influence your standards. They influence your ambitions. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain, avoid responsibility, and reject growth, those attitudes can gradually become part of your own thinking. The effect may be subtle at first. Over time, it becomes significant. On the other hand, spending time with growth-oriented individuals can dramatically expand your perspective. You begin hearing different ideas. You discover new opportunities. You learn better strategies. You observe habits that support success. The environment begins raising your expectations of what is possible. This is why successful people often place enormous importance on their relationships. They understand that influence works in both directions. One conversation can introduce a new idea. One relationship can create a new opportunity. One mentor can save years of mistakes. Another common misconception is that networking should begin only when you need something. Many people wait until they are searching for a job, seeking investors, looking for clients, or facing a challenge before reaching out to others. This approach limits the value of relationships. Strong networks are built long before they become necessary. Trust requires time. Respect requires consistency. Meaningful relationships develop gradually. The best time to strengthen your network is before you need help. When relationships are built sincerely, opportunities often emerge naturally. People become more willing to help those they know, trust, and respect. Another important principle is learning how to provide value first. Many individuals approach relationships with a mindset of taking. They focus entirely on what they can gain. This approach often creates weak connections. The most effective network builders think differently. They ask how they can contribute. They share useful information. They offer support. They make introductions. They help solve problems. They look for ways to create value for others. This generosity strengthens relationships because people remember those who contribute positively to their lives. Value creates trust. Trust creates opportunity. Opportunity often leads to growth. This process may take time, but the results can be extraordinary. Mentorship is another powerful element of wealth-building networks. A mentor is someone who has traveled further along a path you wish to pursue. They possess experience that can shorten your learning curve. They have likely encountered challenges you have not yet faced. Their insights can help you avoid costly mistakes. Many people attempt to learn everything through trial and error. While experience is valuable, unnecessary mistakes can consume years of progress. Learning from experienced individuals accelerates development. A mentor does not need to be famous. A mentor does not need to be wealthy beyond imagination. What matters is relevant experience and wisdom. Sometimes a single piece of advice from the right person can save months or years of frustration. The willingness to learn from others is a sign of strength, not weakness. Another valuable aspect of strong networks is accountability. Goals become easier to achieve when surrounded by people who encourage progress. Many individuals struggle because nobody around them challenges them to improve. Excuses go unquestioned. Poor habits remain unaddressed. Comfort becomes the standard. Growth-oriented relationships create a different environment. People encourage one another. They share lessons. They provide honest feedback. They celebrate progress. They challenge limiting beliefs. This accountability supports continuous improvement. It becomes much harder to settle for mediocrity when surrounded by individuals pursuing excellence. A strong network also provides emotional support during difficult times. Every financial journey includes setbacks. Businesses face challenges. Investments experience fluctuations. Careers encounter obstacles. Goals sometimes take longer than expected. During these periods, supportive relationships become especially valuable. Encouragement can restore confidence. Perspective can reduce fear. Advice can reveal solutions. Supportive people remind you that setbacks are temporary. This emotional resilience contributes significantly to long-term success. Many people abandon promising opportunities simply because they face challenges alone. A strong network reduces that isolation. Another critical lesson is learning how to communicate effectively within your network. Relationships grow through communication. People remember those who listen well. People appreciate those who show genuine interest. People respect those who communicate honestly and clearly. Strong communication builds stronger connections. This is why communication skills and networking skills often develop together. The ability to connect with others creates opportunities in every area of life. Career advancement frequently depends on communication. Business growth frequently depends on communication. Leadership frequently depends on communication. Relationships thrive when communication improves. Every improvement in this area increases your ability to build meaningful connections. Technology has expanded networking opportunities dramatically. Today, it is possible to connect with knowledgeable individuals from around the world. Professional communities exist online. Educational groups exist online. Industry discussions occur daily across digital platforms. The ability to learn from others has never been more accessible. However, Access alone is not enough. Meaningful relationships still require effort. They require consistency. They require authenticity. The tools may have changed, but the principles remain the same. Trust must still be earned. Respect must still be built. Value must still be provided. Another important concept is proximity. The people closest to you often have the greatest influence on your thinking. This is why intentional exposure to successful and growth-oriented individuals can be transformative. You begin observing different habits. You hear different conversations. You witness different approaches to challenges. These experiences gradually shape your own behavior. Standards rise. Expectations improve. Confidence increases. You begin seeing possibilities that once seemed unrealistic. This shift in perspective alone can create significant financial benefits. Many opportunities are missed simply because people never realize they exist. Exposure expands awareness. Awareness expands opportunity. Opportunity expands potential. Networking also creates access to information. Information can be incredibly valuable. A conversation may reveal a new business opportunity. A connection may introduce a potential client. A mentor may share an important lesson. A colleague may recommend a useful resource. These insights often arrive through relationships rather than formal education. The stronger your network becomes, the greater your exposure to valuable information. This advantage compounds over time. Perhaps most importantly, strong networks remind you that success is rarely a solitary pursuit. Financial growth involves collaboration. Businesses depend on customers. Investors depend on information. Leaders depend on teams. Entrepreneurs depend on partnerships. Professionals depend on relationships. The ability to work effectively with others becomes increasingly important as goals become larger. No individual possesses every skill, every insight, or every resource. Networks help bridge those gaps. They create opportunities that would be difficult to access alone. The mindset that prints money recognizes relationships as valuable assets, not assets to be exploited, not assets to be manipulated, but assets to be nurtured through honesty, contribution, respect, and mutual growth. When you consistently invest in people, people often invest in you. When you contribute value, value frequently returns. When you build trust, opportunities emerge. The process may not produce immediate rewards. Like many worthwhile investments, relationship building requires patience, but over time the benefits become increasingly visible. New ideas appear. New opportunities arise, new partnerships form, new lessons are learned, new doors open. Wealth-building progress accelerates because you are no longer relying solely on your own experiences and resources. You gain access to the collective knowledge, support, and opportunities of a growing network. That is why expanding networks is not merely a social activity. It is a strategic investment in your future. And when built with sincerity and purpose, it becomes one of the most powerful tools available for creating long-term financial growth. Chapter 9. Manage resources wisely to increase long-term prosperity. Many people focus heavily on earning money, but give far less attention to managing the resources they already possess. This creates a common problem. Income increases, but financial stress remains. Opportunities grow, but long-term prosperity never fully arrives. The mindset that prints money understands something essential. Building wealth is not only about acquiring resources, it is also about managing them wisely. Resources come in many forms. Money is one resource. Time is another. Energy is another. Knowledge is another. Relationships are resources as well. Every resource can either be used wisely or wasted carelessly. The quality of your future often depends on how effectively you manage what you already have today. Many people believe prosperity begins when they reach a certain income level. They tell themselves that everything will improve once they earn more. While higher income can certainly create opportunities, poor management habits often follow people regardless of how much they earn. Someone who mismanages a small amount of money frequently struggles with larger amounts as well. Someone who wastes time when opportunities are limited often wastes time when opportunities increase. The habits that create prosperity are usually developed before prosperity arrives. This is why resource management deserves serious attention. One of the most important financial habits is spending intentionally. Every dollar represents stored effort. It represents time, energy, skill, and work already invested. When viewed this way, spending becomes more meaningful. Many purchases are made without reflection. People buy based on emotion. They buy based on impulse. They buy because others are buying. They buy because advertising creates temporary desire. The result is often regret. Intentional spending creates a different outcome. Before making purchases, disciplined individuals ask important questions. Does this improve my life meaningfully? Does this support my goals? Does this create lasting value? Is this a need or a temporary impulse? These questions encourage thoughtful decision-making. Over time, thoughtful decisions protect resources and strengthen financial stability. Another important principle is understanding the difference between expenses and investments. An expense consumes resources. An investment has the potential to create future value. Not every expense is bad. Food, housing, transportation, and necessary services are important. However, prosperous individuals regularly seek opportunities to convert spending into investment. Purchasing books that improve knowledge can be an investment. Learning valuable skills can be an investment. Starting a business can be an investment. Improving professional expertise can be an investment. Building relationships can be an investment. The distinction matters because investments often continue producing benefits long after the initial cost. This creates long-term advantages that compound over time. Compounding is one of the most powerful concepts in financial growth. Many people understand it only in relation to investing money. Its influence extends much further. Knowledge compounds, skills compound, relationships compound, healthy habits compound, good decisions compound. Small improvements repeated consistently often produce remarkable results over time. Unfortunately, many people underestimate the power of small actions because immediate results seem insignificant. Saving a modest amount each month may not feel life-changing. Reading a few pages each day may seem minor. Learning one new skill at a time may appear slow. Yet years later, the accumulated effect can be extraordinary. Prosperity is often built through consistent accumulation rather than dramatic events. Patience allows compounding to work. Without patience, many people abandon beneficial habits before meaningful results appear. Another resource that requires careful management is time. Every person receives the same 24 hours each day. The difference lies in how those hours are used. Some activities create value. Others consume time without creating meaningful benefits. Prosperous individuals treat time as a valuable asset. They understand that wasted time cannot be recovered. This does not mean every moment must be devoted to work. Rest is important. Family is important. Health is important. Enjoyment is important. The goal is balance. The key is ensuring that significant portions of your time contribute to growth, learning, productivity, and progress. A person who consistently invests time wisely often experiences greater opportunities than someone who spends years drifting without direction. Time invested wisely becomes future opportunity. Another frequently overlooked resource is energy. Many people focus on schedules while ignoring personal well-being. Yet, productivity depends heavily on physical and mental energy. Low energy often leads to poor decisions. It reduces focus. It weakens discipline It lowers performance. Prosperous individuals recognize the connection between health and success. Adequate sleep improves thinking. Exercise improves resilience. Proper nutrition supports productivity. Stress management improves decision-making. Taking care of your body is not separate from financial growth. It supports financial growth directly. Your ability to create value depends largely on your ability to perform consistently. Performance depends on energy. Another critical aspect of resource management is avoiding unnecessary debt. Debt can be useful when used strategically. Businesses often use financing to expand. Investments sometimes require leverage. However, excessive debt creates limitations. It reduces flexibility. It increases pressure. It restricts future options. Many people sacrifice long-term prosperity for short-term consumption. They borrow heavily to purchase things that lose value quickly. Then years of future income become committed to paying for past decisions. Wise resource management considers future consequences. It prioritizes freedom over temporary satisfaction. Financial flexibility is one of the greatest advantages you can build. It allows you to pursue opportunities when they appear. It allows you to navigate setbacks more effectively. It creates room for growth. Another resource that deserves careful attention is knowledge. Knowledge influences every financial decision. The quality of your understanding affects the quality of your choices. People who invest continuously in learning often make better decisions over time. They identify opportunities more effectively. They avoid costly mistakes. They adapt more successfully to changing conditions. Learning should not stop when formal education ends. The most prosperous individuals often remain lifelong students. They read regularly. They seek mentors. They study successful principles. They remain curious. Knowledge expands possibilities. The more you know, the more opportunities you can recognize. Relationships also require wise management. Strong relationships can become some of the most valuable resources in life. Trust creates opportunities. Partnerships create possibilities. Support creates resilience. Many people neglect relationships until they need help. Wise individuals invest in relationships consistently. They communicate regularly. They provide value. They maintain trust. They strengthen connections over time. These investments frequently generate returns that money alone cannot purchase. Another principle of long-term prosperity is maintaining reserves. Unexpected events occur in every life. Markets change. Expenses arise. Challenges appear without warning. People who prepare for uncertainty often recover more quickly when difficulties emerge. Preparation reduces vulnerability. It creates stability. It increases confidence, whether through savings, skills, relationships, or diversified sources of income. Reserves provide protection. Prosperous individuals understand that preparation is not pessimism. Preparation is wisdom. It allows you to face uncertainty from a position of strength. Another important habit involves regular evaluation. Many people continue using ineffective strategies because they never stop to assess results. Wise resource management requires reflection. What is working? What is not working? Which habits support growth? Which habits create limitations? Where is money going? Where is time going? Where is energy going? These questions create awareness. Awareness creates improvement. Without evaluation, waste often remains invisible. With evaluation, adjustments become possible. Small corrections made consistently can significantly improve long-term outcomes. Long-term prosperity also requires resisting the temptation of immediate gratification. Modern culture encourages instant rewards. People are often taught to prioritize current pleasure over future benefit. The wealth-building mindset follows a different path. It values long-term outcomes. It recognizes that today's decisions shape tomorrow's reality. Patience becomes an advantage. Discipline becomes an advantage. Consistency becomes an advantage. Every wise decision strengthens the foundation for future success. Perhaps the most important lesson is understanding stewardship. Stewardship means managing resources responsibly. It means recognizing that every resource has value. Money has value. Time has value. Energy has value. Knowledge has value. Relationships have value. Prosperous individuals act as careful stewards of these assets. They protect them. They develop them. They use them intentionally. They avoid unnecessary waste. Over time, this approach creates remarkable results. The mindset that prints money does not depend solely on earning more. It depends on becoming a wiser manager of everything already available to you. When resources are managed effectively, growth accelerates, opportunities expand, stability increases, freedom grows. The future becomes stronger because today's resources are being used with purpose. Long-term prosperity is not created by chance. It is created through thousands of thoughtful decisions made consistently over many years. Every wise choice strengthens your foundation. Every intentional action builds momentum. Every resource managed effectively becomes another step toward lasting financial security and greater opportunity. That is the true power of managing resources wisely. It transforms what you have today into something far greater tomorrow.